Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into something seemingly simple, yet surprisingly complex, the tea ceremony. But we're not just going to talk about sipping tea politely. We're going to explore the hidden history, the secret meanings, and the fascinating evolution of tea ceremonies around the world, especially focusing on East Asia. Prepare to be surprised. It's a journey filled with tradition, rebellion, and a whole lot of leaves. We'll uncover stories you probably haven't heard before, going beyond the image of serenity to reveal the social and political forces that shape this ritual. So steep yourself a cup of your favorite brew and get ready to explore. Let's start at the very beginning. Tea, as a beverage, likely originated in southwest China. Legend has it that Shennong, a mythical Chinese emperor and herbalist, discovered tea around 2737 BCE when tea leaves accidentally fell into his boiling water. Whether that's true or not, it's a good story. What we do know is that tea consumption spread throughout China, initially for medicinal purposes. Monks used it to stay awake during meditation, and eventually, it became a common drink among the elite. This early use of tea laid the foundation for the more elaborate ceremonies that would develop later. It wasn't just a drink. It was a tool for focus and connection. The earliest forms of tea preparation and consumption were quite different from what we think of today. Initially, tea leaves were often steamed, pounded into cakes, and then added to hot water with other ingredients like ginger, salt, and even oranges. Think of it more like a savory soup than the delicate beverage we associate with tea ceremonies now. This early method was practical, providing sustenance and energy. It wasn't about aesthetics or elaborate rituals just yet. It was about survival and functionality. This practical beginning is crucial to understanding how tea evolved into a more refined and symbolic beverage. The Tang Dynasty, 618–907 CE, marked a turning point in tea's history. Lu Yu, considered the sage of tea, wrote the Cha Jing, or asterisk, the classic of tea. This book standardized tea preparation and etiquette, elevating tea drinking from a simple act to an art form. Lu Yu detailed everything from the proper tools and techniques to the ideal water source and the appropriate mindset for enjoying tea. His work provided a framework for tea culture to flourish and spread, transforming tea from a utilitarian drink into a symbol of refinement and intellectual pursuits. The classic of tea wasn't just a manual, it was a philosophy. Lu Yu emphasized the importance of harmony, respect, purity, and tranquility in the tea-drinking experience. He believed that preparing and consuming tea should be a mindful and deliberate act, fostering a sense of peace and connection with nature. These principles became central to the development of tea ceremonies, emphasizing the importance of creating a serene and contemplative atmosphere. It was about more than just the taste of the tea. It was about the entire experience. During the Song Dynasty, 960–1279 CE, tea culture reached new heights. The preferred method of tea preparation shifted from boiling whole leaves to whisking powdered tea, known as matcha, in hot water. This method, known as whipped tea or frothy tea, became incredibly popular in both court and monastic circles. The Song Dynasty Emperor Huizong was a huge proponent of tea culture. He even wrote his own treatise called Treatise on Tea, where he extolled the virtues of tea and the proper methodology. This new method greatly influenced the development of Japanese tea ceremonies. The emphasis on precision and artistry during this period shaped the future of tea rituals. Zen Buddhism played a significant role in shaping the Japanese tea ceremony, or *Chana *. Japanese monks traveling to China learned about tea and its meditative properties. They brought tea seeds and tea culture back to Japan, where it was initially used to aid in their meditation practices. Over time, tea drinking became integrated into Zen Buddhist monasteries, becoming a ritual in its own right. The quiet contemplation and focus required during tea preparation and consumption aligned perfectly with Zen principles. Murata Juko, a Zen Buddhist monk in the 15th century, is considered one of the early figures in the development of the Japanese tea ceremony. He emphasized the importance of simplicity, humility, and naturalness in the tea-drinking experience. He advocated for the use of rustic utensils and unadorned spaces, reflecting the Zen Buddhist appreciation for the beauty of imperfection. Juko's influence helped to shape the aesthetic and philosophical underpinnings of *Chano Yu*. Sen no Rikyu, in the 16th century, further refined and popularized the Japanese tea ceremony. He codified many of the practices and principles that are still followed today. Rikyu emphasized 4 key principles: To, no wa, harmony; to, shock, purity; and *Jaku, no wei, tranquility. These principles guide every aspect of the tea ceremony, from the choice of utensils to the interactions between host and guest. Rikyu's influence was so profound that he is considered the most important figure in the history of *Chano Yu*. Rikyu's life was tragically cut short when he was ordered to commit ritual suicide by his lord Toyotomi Hideyoshi. The reasons for this are complex and debated, but it's believed to be a combination of political intrigue and Rikyu's perceived arrogance. Despite his death, Rikyu's teachings and aesthetic principles continued to influence the development of *Chano Yu*, and his legacy remains strong to this day. His death highlights the powerful social and political forces that could influence even seemingly peaceful rituals like the tea ceremony. The Japanese tea ceremony isn't just about drinking tea. It's a highly choreographed performance with specific roles for the host and the guests. The host is responsible for preparing the tea and creating a welcoming atmosphere. Guests are expected to show respect for the host, the tea, and the surroundings. There are prescribed ways to enter the tea room, admire the utensils, and drink the tea. These formalized actions help to create a sense of harmony and shared experience. The tea room, or *chashitsu, is a carefully designed space intended to evoke a sense of peace and tranquility. It is typically a small, simple room with natural materials like wood and bamboo. The entrance is often deliberately low, forcing guests to bow as they enter, a symbol of humility. The *chashitsu is designed to be a retreat from the outside world, a place where one can focus on the present moment and appreciate the beauty of simplicity. The utensils used in the tea ceremony are not just functional objects. They are works of art with their own history and significance. The tea bowl, or *chawan, is particularly important, and it is often chosen to reflect the season or the theme of the gathering. The tea caddy, or natsum, and a tea whisk, or chasen, are also carefully selected and handled with great care. The appreciation of these objects is an integral part of the tea ceremony experience. There are different schools or styles of Japanese tea ceremony, each with its own unique interpretations and practices. The 3 main schools are Urasenki, Omotesenki, and Mushakoji-senki, all descended from Sen no Rikyu. While they share the same fundamental principles, they differ in their emphasis on certain aspects of the ceremony and the way they approach the preparation and presentation of tea. Exploring the different schools offers a deeper understanding of the nuances of *Chano Yu*. Beyond Japan, tea ceremonies have also developed in other East Asian countries. In Korea, tea ceremonies known as *Darya are less formalized than their Japanese counterparts, but still emphasize respect, harmony, and contemplation. Korean tea ceremonies often involve the use of local teas and traditional Korean pottery. The atmosphere is generally more relaxed and informal, reflecting the Korean cultural emphasis on naturalness and spontaneity. The spread of tea culture beyond East Asia was significantly impacted by the British East India Company. They saw the massive profits China was making exporting tea and wanted in on the business. They began cultivating tea in India, specifically in regions like Assam and Darjeeling. This dramatically altered the global tea trade, eventually making tea more accessible to the West. It also led to the development of distinct British tea customs, though these differed considerably from East Asian tea ceremonies. The British afternoon tea is a distant relative of East Asian tea ceremonies. It developed in the 19th century as a way for the wealthy to fill the gap between lunch and dinner. Afternoon tea typically involves sandwiches, scones, cakes, and, of course, tea. While it lacks the deep philosophical and spiritual underpinnings of *Chano Yu too, it shares a similar emphasis on social interaction and refined etiquette. The Boston Tea Party, a pivotal event in American history, demonstrates how tea became intertwined with political and economic issues. Colonists, protesting British taxation policies, dumped chests of tea into Boston Harbor. This act of defiance symbolized American resistance to British rule and ultimately contributed to the outbreak of the American Revolution. It highlights how something as seemingly innocuous as tea could become a powerful symbol of rebellion and national identity. Today, tea ceremonies continue to be practiced around the world, both in their traditional forms and in adapted versions. In Japan, Chano Yu is still a valued cultural tradition, taught and practiced by many. In other countries, tea ceremonies are often used as a way to promote cultural exchange, foster mindfulness, and create a sense of community. The enduring appeal of tea ceremonies lies in their ability to connect us to the past, to each other, and to ourselves. The commercialization of tea has both positive and negative aspects. On one hand, it has made a wider variety of teas accessible to more people. On the other hand, it can sometimes overshadow the deeper cultural and philosophical meanings associated with tea. The challenge is to find a balance between enjoying the convenience and affordability of commercially available tea, while also appreciating the rich history and traditions that underpin it. Ethical sourcing and sustainable tea production are increasingly important considerations. Many consumers are now seeking out teas that are produced in an environmentally responsible and socially conscious way. This includes supporting tea farms that prioritize fair wages for workers, protect biodiversity, and minimize their environmental impact. Choosing ethically sourced tea is a way to honor the traditions of tea while also contributing to a more sustainable future. One of the most interesting modern adaptations of tea ceremony is the, quote, tea ceremony for one. It's the practice of taking the time to prepare and enjoy tea in a mindful and deliberate way, even when you're alone. This can be a simple way to incorporate some of the principles of *Chano Yu* into your daily life, creating a moment of peace and reflection amidst the chaos of modern life. There are many ways to incorporate elements of tea ceremony into your own life, even if you don't have access to a traditional tea room or utensils. Simply taking the time to brew a cup of tea with intention, focusing on the aroma and the taste, can be a form of mindfulness. You can also create a dedicated space for tea drinking, even if it's just a small corner of your home. The key is to create an environment that promotes peace and relaxation. Experimenting with different types of tea can be a great way to expand your appreciation for tea culture. From green tea to black tea to oolong tea to herbal infusions, there's a whole world of flavors and aromas to explore. Each type of tea has its own unique history and cultural significance. Trying different teas can be a journey of discovery in itself. And if you like this sort of thing, and we think you will, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button to help the algorithm find more folks interested in learning about the subtle nuances of obscure cultural traditions. The role of water is crucial to the taste and quality of tea. Traditionally, spring water or well water was considered the best for tea preparation. The water should be fresh, clean, and free of any impurities. The temperature of the water is also important, as different types of tea require different brewing temperatures. Paying attention to the quality of your water can significantly enhance your tea drinking experience. The connection between tea and art extends beyond the tea utensils themselves. Many artists have been inspired by tea culture, creating paintings, ceramics, and other works of art that reflect the beauty and serenity of the tea ceremony. Tea has also been a subject in poetry and literature, often used as a metaphor for life, relationships, and the passage of time. The artistic representations of tea culture further enhance its cultural significance. Tea ceremonies can be used as a tool for conflict resolution and building bridges between cultures. The shared experience of preparing and drinking tea can create a sense of connection and understanding, even between people with different backgrounds and perspectives. The emphasis on respect, harmony, and communication in tea ceremonies can foster a more peaceful and collaborative environment. The future of tea ceremonies is likely to be a blend of tradition and innovation. As the world becomes more interconnected, there is a growing interest in cross-cultural exchange and experimentation. We may see new forms of tea ceremonies that incorporate elements from different cultures, creating a more inclusive and globally relevant experience. The key is to maintain the core principles of respect, harmony, and mindfulness, while adapting to the changing needs and preferences of modern society. Ultimately, the hidden history of tea ceremonies reveals a story of cultural exchange, artistic expression, and spiritual exploration. From its humble beginnings as a medicinal beverage in ancient China to its refined form as a highly choreographed ritual in Japan, tea has played a significant role in shaping societies and cultures around the world. By understanding the history and significance of tea ceremonies, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the richness and complexity of human traditions. So, the next time you brew a cup of tea, take a moment to reflect on its long and fascinating history. Think about the journey the tea leaves have taken, from the tea fields to your cup. Consider the traditions and rituals that have evolved around tea drinking and the people who have shaped them. And, most importantly, savor the moment and appreciate the simple pleasure of a cup of tea. Be curious, think oddly,